So here we have a Mikuni 28 SC carburettor, which was fitted to my Suzuki GT550 J. It also fitted the K models and many other Japanese motorcycles. I have been setting the float level using a vernier gauge, but I've decided to check the fuel level, which is a totally different thing. I think it's actually more correct to do it this way, because this way it's set up properly as opposed to a measurement with the carburettor flipped upside down. So first of all, I bought a tube from Z1 Enterprises, which is on the internet, and that you remove the drain screw on the bottom of the float bowl and just screw in their adapter, which has a clear plastic tube on it, which I'll show you here. This clear plastic tube comes up about 6 inches, and the idea is that you get your fuel level according to this between 2.5 and 4.5 millimeters below the line on the top of the float bowl. So that's the diagram they send with it. So first of all, you have to set up a temporary fuel pipe. I've done that using this is a normal suction syringe which you can buy. It's like an oil syringe for sucking oil out or brake fluid or anything like that, but I've set it up so it's hanging from the roof. You take out the plunger, so you've got atmospheric pressure acting on the water. I'm using water, not petrol. It's a much easier thing to work with, and the tube with the syringe comes down. You can see there the water's in the tube there. I've then inserted a petrol pipe into it, which is connected to the carburettor in the normal way. Now when you get close, you can see that my fuel level, I've marked the lowest possible, that's the 4.5 millimeters with a black line. So you can see where my fuel level is looking at that. So I'm quite happy with that. That's probably just maybe 2 or 3 millimeters below the level. So I'm going to set all my carburettors up at that length, so they're all the same basically. That's without measuring at all. This is actually physically showing where the fuel level comes to. So as you can see, I've used a cable tie to go around the bottom of the carburettor. That holds the pipe close to the actual float bowl, and then I've marked the level of the top of the float bowl, and then I've measured 4.5, which is the lowest possible that it can be. So looking at that, the water has come through the float, filled the carburettor up and come up to and switched off the floats and sealed off the float valve just on the bottom line. So what you do is you push the tube down a little to fool it into thinking it, and you'll see the tube actually goes up, the water, right? See the level go up. See, it's above the line there now. So then pull it back up just to check that it goes back, and leave it for a few minutes for it to settle. It's just above the bottom line there. The ideal setting is for 3 millimeters below. That's 4.5, the actual black line, but it's within limits, so we'll leave it at that. That float setting is fine.